Hello everyone, how are you doing? So, this is my new journey where I'll like to share few insights of my experience. Today we'll talk about Kubernetes 101, and in this I'll cover running it in your local. बेसिकली कैसे आप एक Kubernetes environment सेटअप कर सकते हैं अपने लिए प्रैक्टिस करने के लिए अपनी लोकल मशीन पर। तो उससे पहले लेट्स लर्न व्हाट क्यूबरनेटीज इज। क्यूबरनेटीज होता क्या है? ओके, तो क्यूबरनेटीज is basically an open source software which is used for containerization of your workloads, application, and whatnot. So it's an open source platform, like I said, and you can actually containerize your application. Now, what do I mean by containerization? Initially, if you see, people used to have all the hardware uh, at their place, and then they will have to manage all the costs of the huge hardware, all the software and everything, and then they put their app code on there. Then came the VM, which are still there. So in the VM also, you are kind of segregating and channelizing and consuming the hardware in a much serialized manner. On top of that, you're keeping your resources and you can segregate your stuff on inside this VM. Containerization is one level up, wherein you can only need whatever is need for your app to run in that particular container. And yeah, that's a very high level definition of it. Um, so you can find a lot of good information on Kubernetes.io and Minikube related to setting up and learning Kubernetes and setting up it in local. Kubernetes.io pe you will get uh, everything related to running your commands, what is Kubernetes, all in depth. But since it's 101, let's just keep it to the first level of it. Okay, ये सब करने के लिए what do you need? You need a laptop, a PC. Um, I assume आपके पास already है laptop, a PC. डॉकर डेस्कटॉप चाहिए क्योंकि आपको एक कंटेनराइज्ड एनवायरनमेंट मैनेजर चाहिए। तो डॉकर डेस्कटॉप बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग टूल है, स्ट्रांगली रिकमेंड आप ये वेबसाइट पे जाके डाउनलोड कर लें। Anyways, I'll share all these links. Minikube, basically it provides you the Kubernetes environment and few quick images that you can use to deploy a test application. kubectl API, because you want to kubectl API is a very powerful API जो कि आपकी basically सारी Kubernetes resources को handle करता है, and there are some set of CLI command जो आप use कर सकते हो. Some initial commands to run this Docker setup on your local. Basically, you have to first install all these Minikube Docker in your local, and then run the Minikube environment with the Docker. And if you want to set it as your default driver, you can just run the Minikube config set driver Docker and start your Kubernetes cluster. तो लेट्स गो, नेक्स्ट स्टेप कैसे करना है देखते हैं. So on a high level, this is a cluster architecture diagram wherein you see the control plane and the nodes inside a cluster. Control plane is also called the master node, and then there are worker nodes like you see in this node 1 and node 2. बेसिकली इसको आप ऐसे देखो कि आपका एक लीडर है और उसके सबऑर्डिनेट्स हैं. तो लीडर बेसिकली मैनेज करेगा सबऑर्डिनेट को क्या चाहिए, कैसे करना है, सब इंटरनली. यू डोंट हैव टू डू एनीथिंग, ये लीडर करेगा सब कुछ आपके लिए, विच मेक्स द वर्क इजी. दैट्स व्हाई इट्स a successful and it's an open source provider. So let's start with the installing. So I already have something installed, so I'll start with so basically I will not use install, I'll use reinstall, and I'll start with Minikube. So simply, since we are using homebrew, brew reinstall Minikube, and then yeah, so brew reinstall kubectl क्योंकि kubectl API भी चाहिए. Already I have all these things in my local, so मैं बार बार कर रहा हूँ, दोबारा से कर रहा हूँ आप लोगों के लिए. And then the third thing that we need is the Docker. So brew install, reinstall Docker. Uh, just again to show you, so it will take a couple of seconds to install this. Once this is done, we are almost ready. Just the last part of it, wherein हमें Minikube को start करना है. Before that, let's start the Docker desktop. So this is a basic UI of Docker desktop. जिसमें you can see it can manage containers, image, volume, build, dev environment, Docker Scout. So quite a powerful tool. इसमें एक नया बीटा वर्जन आया है dev environment जिसमें which they say dev environment basically you can create a playground for yourself. Okay, so this is the dev environment which I'll try to use it. What I'll do is I'll delete the existing one and we'll create a fresh one now. Simple hai, you go to dev environment, create a new environment, get started, give some name, dummy name, whatever, test name. So you give a name, you give the source, as in you can put anything. So as of now, again for demo purpose, I'm just keeping it as my local. You can also give a Git repo also. It takes few minutes to set it up, not even minutes actually, seconds, 10-15 seconds to start, and it's done. Let's see. So you see there is a local environment. So now finally we have a containerized environment. We'll just do a Minikube start. Before that, let me just increase the size for you guys. So let's run the Minikube start command. Start driver equal to Docker. So it will start a Minikube cluster on the Docker. ये भी कुछ seconds में तैयार हो जाएगा. And when this is ready, what do you need after that? You need a deployment. So मैंने एक deployment पहले से करा था. So let's do a kubectl get all. And here we go. We have a pod service deployment replica set that already exists. मैं इसको delete कर दूंगा. Deleting all. Then what we need? Let's see. Okay, this is the Kubernetes service, not needed. Okay, let's see the cluster info. Oops. kubectl cluster info. Remove the get. So ये cluster की information आ गई कि master कौन से IP पे run कर रहा है, blah blah blah. Let's get the nodes. You can see there is a master node or control plane running, which is 2 days. So पहले हो गए. Okay. Let's see. So Minikube जो है, it has a default deployment YAML that we can use. So it's an image that is kind of a complete deployment. I'll share this link. If I run this, you see there is a deployment that is created with all the things that you need to practice. So there is another concept in Kubernetes which is called namespace. Now what's a namespace? Namespace is like separating your apps within the cluster. So you can list the namespace, you can delete them, create them, label them, a lot of things you can do using the kubectl API. Now if you see, I created a namespace, test local. Okay, so once you create the namespace, now I want to set the context. Basically Minikube file को modify करके we'll say okay, now we are inside test local namespace. And now you see during kubectl get all, it basically says no resource found basically, but we had a deployment there because that is in the default namespace. So let's go back. We'll delete this namespace. बेसिकली हमने नई नेम स्पेस बनाई लेकिन ओके दैट्स अ यूज केस, गुड यूज केस। हमने नई नेम स्पेस बनाई लेकिन हम उसके अंदर डिप्लॉयमेंट हमने अभी भी मिनी क्यूब में ही किया, जो कि अभी हमारी करंट नेम स्पेस है। तो बेसिकली दिस इज आल्सो नॉट अ राइट यूज केस। तो अभी हम once first we'll go inside the namespace that we have created, that is test local, and now we'll do the deployment here. So currently it is empty, and now when we do the deployment, you will see that the deployment is available inside this namespace, right? And we'll create another namespace now, local one, and we'll do another deployment here. Currently it is empty. I'll do the same image, but you can do another image, another app, whatever you want. And ओके, वो नेम स्पेस हमने क्रिएट ही नहीं करी, तो क्या होगा, पहले हमें क्रिएट करना है, फिर उसके अंदर हमें कॉन्फ़िग सेट करना है, and then only we'll do the deployment. And here we go, deployment is ready. So now we have two deployments in two different namespace, and if we see that there are two separate namespace that exist now. So yeah, अभी के लिए ये है. Let's see. Let's go to maybe the next topic. Let's create an init container to see how it works, how the pod creation and container creation actually works. Before that, let's see कि replica sets क्या होते हैं. Replica set basically बताएगा कि कितने pod exist करते हैं at a single moment of time. Correct. So for example, अभी आप देख रहे हो कि इस deployment में replica set desired one, current one है. So let's increase that to maybe 2. So we can scale the replicas. Double hyphen I mix that. Tuck, and here we go. We'll see 2 pods. Ta-da. Okay, so this is one case. यूज केस क्या है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी मैं ये पॉड को डिलीट कर दूंगा, इमीडिएटली वो एक नया पॉड बना देगा, बिकॉज मिनिमम डिजायर्ड इज 2. so you see wd डिलीट करा और 5z5 क्रिएट हो गया. इवेंट्स would show you, जो get events will show you क्या क्या हो रहा है क्लस्टर में. We can describe the deployment basically, और ये बता देगा हमें कि कौन सी इमेज है, क्या कितने रेप्लिका सेट चाहिए, क्या लास्ट एक्टिविटी इसमें हुई थी इवेंट, और is it up, I mean deployment is successful, it's failed, all that information it will show you here. You can also see the YAML file for it. So you can see a deployment, kubectl get deployment name, and then -o YAML. It will show you the exact deployment file that you have deployed. Yeah, that's pretty much for today. I think I learned a few things while doing this. Maybe it's my new journey, so I hope you guys like it. And if you like it, let me know the feedback. I'll try and put in more information for you guys so that we can learn more. Maybe keep learning. And containerization is the future, is the present, and it has been a past for a few years now. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. See you.